Live from the chicken wing capital of the world, Buffalo, New York. You're listening to the Childcare Bridge Podcast, your source for the best tips, tools, and tactics on how to market and grow your childcare center, ensuring total domination. Total domination. This is the Childcare Bridge, and this is your host, Michael Tasner.
Hi there, and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Childcare Bridge show. I am so thrilled that you're here and that you're tuning in. In this inaugural episode, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the format of the show, and most importantly, what is in it for you as a childcare professional, as the owner of a preschool, a Montessori center, a STEM-based program, and anywhere in between. Why should you tune in and listen to this content? We're going to talk through that a little bit. I'm going to give you a little bit more information about my background. I've always been a big believer in knowing more about the people that are giving me content that I'm getting coached from or being mentored from, to make sure that they've been in the trenches and they have case study upon case study and testimonials, and they've been there and done that. So it's not just someone talking about content. And I'm going to talk about how you could come on as a guest and the type of guest that we're going to be looking for. But without further ado, and before I get too much in the weeds, I want to talk through who is this show designed for? Like, why did I decide to put this content out? So I have been working in the trenches in the childcare space, and what you're going to find throughout all the different episodes is I'm going to use the word childcare interchangeably with daycare, with preschool, with early childhood education. All of these words have slightly different meanings, and candidly, every one of you tends to refer to it in a different connotation. Some people will say, I'm a daycare center. Others are an academy. Some people are Montessori centers. But the show was designed for people that lead and or own childcare centers and or multiple location centers. There's going to be some content if you're a home-based center, but the content is going to be around if you want to take a home-based center to a full-blown physical location with plenty of enrollments and a bit of a bigger business. But we're looking for people that want to grow. We're looking for people that want to make an impact on their community. The phrase that I like to use is they want to make their local mark. So if you're looking to grow your childcare business, if you're looking to learn about staffing and hiring and the financial side and marketing and all of just the latest and greatest strategies, you're in the right place. The format of the show is going to be a little bit of a variation. A lot of the episodes I'm going to do solo with the intention of just giving you full-blown, in the trenches, step-by-step strategies. Other episodes, we're going to bring on successful clients of ours and or centers that are doing extremely well. And when I say doing extremely well, there's going to have to be several different pieces of criteria, and we're going to talk about what makes up a successful center in the next episode. But they're going to have financial success. They're going to have the ability for a vacation, that they can actually check out and take a vacation. They have to have staff in place that can run the center without them. So it's not just the money side. They've got to have lots of testimonials. They've had to prove by way of being in business for several years. There's no such thing as a one-hit wonder where you come in and you're in business for 3 months and all of a sudden you've got 4,000 enrollments and 100 locations. That stuff just doesn't happen. I want to bring you testimonials and stories of people that have been there and done that. And I want to unpack it live. I want to go deep and see, what did you actually do to solve X, Y, Z? What were the strategies that you followed? What were the tools that you used? What are the companies, the vendors? Everything is going to be shared with a complete open book. So one thing you're going to find, and I'm going to tell you about my background in just a second, but you're going to find that there's going to be no secrets. I'm not going to have episodes where we give you part of the strategies and then say, well, you have to buy XYZ to learn more. Yes, I have plenty of courses and content and marketing stuff and all that fun stuff. But the entire goal of this show is to be of service. To be of service to the people that are serving the communities each and every single day. My background has a lot of different ups and downs and twists and turns. And if you haven't realized or found out by now, my name is Michael Tasner. I started my journey when I was 14 years old, back in high school, and I learned this whole big concept of supply and demand. And I learned it because I started learning about it in high school at a real high level. And then I started to notice it in our local community when it came to websites. This whole thing of the internet and being online, back then it was still AOL email and You've Got Mail and Instant Messenger and all of that. But businesses wanted to have a virtual presence. They wanted to get a website. So I went to our local library and I taught myself a tool called Microsoft Front Page. And back in the day, and I'm not that old, but this was a while ago. This was, I guess I'm doing the math in my head, 20 plus years ago. They would have the DVD and the CDs in the back of the book. So I was able to actually have the software tool, the Microsoft Front Page. And I taught myself over the course of a couple of weeks how to build really poor looking websites. But I learned that nobody in our area of Western New York, so I live in the Buffalo, New York area. So Buffalo, New York, I can be to Canada in 20 minutes. I can be to Niagara Falls, New York in about 20 minutes. So it's considered Western New York. That nobody was making websites at that time. So I put up a couple of flyers and I started to get phone calls. Didn't have a cell phone or anything like that. It was going to my parents' home phone number. And I was in business. And I was kind of doing it covertly. So I'd be going to school during the day and then coming home and programming. And I use the word programming with air quotes because really it was drop and drag and using the software tool, but cranking out websites pretty quickly and making a lot of money, more money than people would have thought at that time. And I was kind of just doing it, I wouldn't say secretly, but I was very under the radar. And ever since then, I have just been hooked on all things digital, all things marketing. I went to school, went to college, and got a degree in entrepreneurship and marketing. I've had a whole slew of other different businesses, from college care packages to e-commerce websites. But my main business has always been a marketing agency. And I've had different iterations. I had one, I grew it, and I sold it. And my I wouldn't say most recent because it's been, 7 years or something like that, is an agency called No Joke Marketing. And the main portion of that agency is another business called No Joke Childcare. And that's what we're going to talk a lot about in this next episode of what makes up what I deem a no joke childcare center, a no joke childcare business. And what we've realized in working with hundreds and hundreds of centers at my marketing agency. So at this agency, we do websites and social media and lead generation. We have a whole program where we'll actually call your leads for you. We have a customer relationship management tool in the childcare industry, driving enrollments, and even tackling the hiring stuff. So I've got all of these in the trenches stories that I can see in real time. I've got a front door because I can keep a pulse across all of our clients and boil up the data to start to see when the industry is changing, when the sentiment of parents is changing, if the hiring piece is getting any better, how the enrollments are looking, how is fall enrollment versus summer enrollment, or after school programs, or really anywhere in between. And we've been doing this for 10 plus years in this space. So it's not a new industry. I know all of the vernacular because I've been there and done that, and I'm doing it day in and day out. I also had the privilege to run the marketing for a brand called Guerrilla Marketing. So if you've ever studied anything from a marketing standpoint, Guerrilla Marketing is the most well-known marketing brand in the world. They sold 25 million copies of the book, and there's actually a whole book series titled Guerrilla Marketing and then different variations. I was thrilled to get to actually be mentored by Jay Levinson, the gentleman that wrote all the books and started the company, and run their marketing as their chief marketing officer. So what you'll find as I'm teaching you, it's a combination of in the trenches stuff that's working with all the clients and the centers that we're working with, and things that I have seen proven true time and time and time again. Time and time again. I've got 4 kids. I've been married for 15 plus years, and I've got a little dog named Bella. So that's a little bit more about me and my background. You're not going to hear about my background in future episodes. I have no intention of continuing to remind you. I've written a bunch of other books. You can find all the books. I'll make sure that they're linked here. For Forbes, I write for Entrepreneur Magazine, and I don't share this to boast, but as the first episode, you need to know who you're learning from. You need to know that I have 10 plus years of experience in the childcare space, working with hundreds and hundreds of centers. I've been there. I've done that. I know your challenges and your problems, and we are going to solve as many of the challenges for you live. The what's in it for me is I want to help you build a business that will outlast you. The failure rate of small business is dismal. The failure rate for childcare centers has gotten and has continued to get worse year after year after year. Now, a lot of people have deemed childcare as a recession-proof business. I would agree with that. But that doesn't mean that it's a business that is bulletproof. And what I mean by bulletproof is it's not a business that cannot fail. I can give you case study and story upon story upon story of centers that we didn't work with, that often called us when it was too late, or centers that we met at different events and things like that, and they lost everything, or they just had to close their doors. And we're going to unpack why. Why did they fail? What was the problem? What was the challenge? What were the challenges? What was that straw that broke the camel's back? And often it's money, but there's always other stuff. We're going to unpack as much of that stuff live for you as possible. So the format is going to be some solo episodes. In the first couple of episodes, I will do solo. And then I'm going to start to bring on some of the vendors that we use and that you're going to know of because you use most of these vendors. I'm going to bring on other influencers in the childcare space. I'm going to, again, bring on our clients. I'm going to bring on successful centers. And if you're looking to be mentored live, I'm going to invite you to apply to be a guest as well. We're going to bring on people and literally just unpack whatever you want. We're going to talk hiring, marketing, sales, tours, acquisitions, ratios, software, lead follow-up, like literally everywhere that you can possibly go with that entire focus of helping you build a long-lasting business that makes you feel fulfilled. It makes you happy. It makes you money. Most of you, not all of you, but most of you get into this business because you want to make an impact. You want to help impact the lives of children, which is one of the most admirable things that one could ever do. The challenge is that the money piece becomes a secondary thought. And what you're going to find with the way that I'm going to teach you and mentor you and the video testimonials and case studies and such that I'm going to bring in. And when I say testimonial, it's not a testimonial for me and my agency, but rather a testimonial of what did they do right. So more of a case study. But the money piece is not going to necessarily be front and center, but it's never going to be behind the scenes. It's never going to be an afterthought. We're going to talk through how much money you should be making. We're going to talk through how much money you need to charge to actually build a sustainable business. We're going to have some uncomfortable conversations. But my whole goal is to, again, help you build the business that you have always dreamt of. Not the business that you're losing sleep over every evening. Not the business that you literally are laying in bed at night worrying about what teacher is going to call in sick and now you're going to be out of ratio and how much money you're going to lose. Or what teacher is going to potentially quit or whatever is going to happen. We're going to help you build that business that you've always dreamt of. That is my promise to you. That is what's in it for you. We're going to unpack everything, every tool, every software, everything. No stone will be left unturned. Again, welcome. I am so thrilled that you're here. Thank you ever so much. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be posting at the very least once a week. My goal is going to be to get it up to 2 or 3 times a week, if not more. But hit the subscribe button. I promise you, you're going to love the content, and it's going to literally help you transform your business and your life and the life you're building for your family in real time. Tune in to the next episode. I will see you then.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Childcare Bridge. Now get out there, take action, and continue making a difference in your community. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to share it with your community. And as always, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review.